could somebody be trying to sabotage me? I swear, I've never seen it. It wasn't in our house. I think this plant is a plant. So when we first moved here, we were staying with my in-laws out in King's Head. They live on a road called Cayley Bray. Can you spell that for me? Absolutely not. But when I first arrived, one of the first things that I wanted to figure out is where's the pot store? And so I asked around and I find out the pot store is in the LC. Okay, where's that? Oh, it's beside the Sobeys. Fantastic. Pretty sure I know where that is. It's just, you come down Little Harbour Road and you go across the bridge and the Sobeys is right there. No problem. Now, I might be new, but I'm not naive. I know that this is a Sobeys town. I figure there might be more than one Sobeys. I should ask some follow-up questions to make sure that it's the one that I'm thinking of. So, the liquor store's right beside the Sobeys, right? Yep. Yep. And it's in like kind of an outdoor mall type of area? Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. I know exactly where this is, no problem. Just to double check, just to make sure, the mall is in like an L shape, right? Yep, absolutely. And the Sobeys and the liquor store are like on the north end of the mall L shape thing? Yep, okay. I definitely know where I'm going. Absolutely. Okay, great. So I head off and I come in from Little Harbour Road, and then Little Harbour Road turns into Mountain Road, and then Mountain Road turns into George Street, and then there's this little spot at the bottom of the hill where God knows what street it is. And then you get to the bottom of the hill, and I want to go straight, and I can see where I want to go straight. I can see the bridge that I want to cross. There appear to be roads directly in front of me where I could go straight to my destination. But this is New Glasgow. Of course you can't do that. No, you have to turn right and then do this sort of loop around this odd building in the middle of an island onto another street, and then turn right onto the street that you were looking at 15 seconds earlier. For a while I thought maybe the building was special. Like there were, just want people to sort of loop around and kind of honor it in some way. I almost caused several accidents trying to figure out what the hell this building was. I think it's just a disused Elks Lodge. I'm not totally sure.
Oh, it's used.
Well, but I don't know if it's still in use, but I never see anybody there. But anyway, that's a local quirk. And so off I go. And I'm sure that you smart people have already figured out that I'm in the wrong Sobeys. It's crazy to me that there's another one less than a kilometer away. Even crazier to me that both of them fit every single detail that I asked about in trying to figure out if I had the right one. The first time I told that joke, a couple of comics came up to me afterwards and were very enthusiastic about telling me about there was once a third Sobeys. Imagine, a third Sobeys. We're down to like one every 2,000 people at this point. And that in itself is a very New Glasgow thing, because if you're here and you're new, you quickly realize that people like to give what I call ghost directions, which are directions that are fundamentally based in something that is long gone and dead. So you ask how do I get to such and such? Well, do you know where McGillicuddy's General Store used to be? No, I absolutely don't know that. Every direction is based on things that are no longer there that they just hope that you remember, which is tough for people who have just gotten here. I never did find the other Sobeys that day. I couldn't find East River Road. I found Trenton Road. I found Archimedes. I couldn't find East River Road. It was only later that I realized all three of those are in fact just the same one road. Because here's the thing, New Glasgow, you have not enough streets and too many street names. Is this here to confuse come-from-aways? Is this a prank that you're playing on newcomers? I don't understand. I like to think of it as like remnants of long ago feuds between the founding families of the area, and that's why the street names are so messed up. Like, I don't know what happened between the Abercrombies and the Fords, that the Stellartons needed to step in right in the middle of them and separate the two of them. I like to think of that stretch of Stellarton Road as like sort of a demilitarized zone, where the Abercrombies of the north and the Fords of the south can come together and meet in the middle and enjoy some A&W. Well, I'm going to go home and think about what I've done. Thank you for having me.
That was awesome. Great job, James. Great job, James. All right. Coming down to the end, guys. Thank you so much for being here and being with us, and we love to hear your laughter. We love to hear your applause. It's just been amazing. Our last and final comedian has been with us every single time through hard times. He is here all the time. He is always the most positive, optimistic person I think I've ever met in my life. Matt, you can find him on Instagram and TikTok at Good Boys Podcast. For once, he's not high. For those of you that have met Matt, seen Matt for once. And he's wearing his girlfriend Tori's pants today. Let's give it up for Matt McGlashan, please. Big round of applause.
Damn, y'all look different when I'm not high. How's it going? My name is Matt. I live in my van. I'm fighting cancer, and I live in my van. I'm so glad to be here with y'all tonight because on Monday I do have an appointment to be flayed, but more on that later. I do have a day job, but at heart I'm really a stand-up comedian. I honestly think of it very seriously. There's nothing funny about it. You know, it's more of a lifestyle than just something that I do in my spare time. I try to do stand-up everywhere that I am. That is why I never sit down. I honestly am very dedicated to it. I write at a standing desk. I sleep in a Murphy bed that's never folded down, and I've removed the driver's seat from my van. It's really dangerous. You can only see like 3 meters ahead of yourself. Last time I got to stand up on this stage was for that cancer benefit show back a couple months ago, and honestly it was a wonderful night. I was so happy to be there. That night, Jenny, our wonderful host tonight, came backstage and told us that we had raised $1,000 for cancer, which was fantastic news. Yes, give her an applause, hell yeah. It was absolutely fantastic news because I was kicking its ass at the time. It needed all the help it could get. So I live in my van, but recently I have been house trained. I learned that it's apparently not advisable to be going through chemotherapy while living in a tent on wheels. I haven't been in the van at all because of the cancer, because, you know, treatments and such. So I was down at my girlfriend's parents' house, you know, how you do. And I was going through the treatments, and the treatments ended. It was about as abrupt as that sentence. Like one day, I was having literal poison pumped through my body, and then the next day they were like, you're free to go. Go ahead, try to return to normal life. We'll see you in a few months to see if that other poison your body was making is back to kill you. When I was younger, I used to carry a Swiss Army backpack with me, like everywhere that I went. It was like a go bag, like it had everything that I needed during the day. And as I got older, I naturally started to need more things, so, you know, day to day, you start piling on a couple extra things, a few extra books, a couple extra notepads, and eventually you end up with a backpack that weighs 3 tons, is made mostly out of metal, and is a Nissan. My partner and I recently drove that Nissan down to Ontario, to my hometown, to go to my cousin's wedding. I used to try to cannonball those runs back to Ontario because I thought the only way to drive was non-stop. But I was introduced to the wonders of road tripping on this trip. It was fantastic. We took 3 days to get there. It was a little longer, but I wasn't nearly as angry at Quebec drivers by the time I hit Montreal. Have you ever wondered where every seagull in the country goes for vacation? Just me? Okay. Well, you don't have to wonder anymore, because on that trip, me and my girlfriend found that location. Going through Quebec, we stopped at a hydro plant, and there was a little outcropping of land that had, no joke, about 34 seagulls per square meter. It was honestly infested. We ended up calling it Gulligan's Island. It was like a seagull music festival to a certain extent. Like, I swear we saw one of the gulls just wearing a fake dead mouse head. Eventually, later in the evening, we did go for a walk, and I decided to swing by the main stage to catch Seagull Skrillex's set. And I'm very proud to say that we walked that seagull gauntlet without getting mauled. It was both exhilarating and terrifying. At that stop, we also got to stay in a field that was inhabited by several groundhogs, who officially have one of the cutest butts in the animal kingdom. Top 10 at least. I dare you to find a cute